Welcome to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Host Randy Chevrier and Sheldon Napastka guide you to great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to The Ride.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's deep, eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. He
breaks the pass. What a play by Trump.
And the last known survivor stalks his spread in the night. And he's the eye of the tiger.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. And God, Chevy, that hurts. That's no way to start a show, Trey.
I think that's the best way to start the show. Man. I mean, I saw that and I was like, I called Trey. I was like, Trey, that's the way 40 million Canadians are feeling Sunday morning, that they just got their asses beat by Trump. He posted that. Love him or hate him. We're going to talk about him a little bit later, but I think that was the best way to start the show because, Sheldon, we spent last week talking about Canadian Olympians and how underfunded our amateur athletes are and how tough it is for them to get to the Olympics, to succeed, to hit the podiums in the winter sports. And we spent last week interviewing Canadian bobsledder Bianca Ribby and her journey to the Olympics and how hard it was. But when we left the show last Tuesday, we knew at least we got hockey. At least we got hockey. And guess what? A week later, we don't even have hockey, Sheldon. We have nothing. We have I don't know what to say, man.
We lost twice to the same team. I mean, if the women won and the men lost, at least we can salvage it. I'm not even sure Rubio would be on here talking smack this early in the show if that were the case. Yeah. But to lose both goals, because you don't win a silver, right? You lose a gold. And to lose to the same team in a time when we've got so much more than just hockey going on between our two countries. Dude, that was painful. And I'll tell you what, waking up, set my alarm for 5:45 Mountain Standard Time to get up for that game. That's as early as I ever get up on a Sunday. My boys don't play hockey. I like to sleep in. Mm-hmm. But I was all excited. I got the coffee going. I got the treats out. And we were gifted with just an awesome game. It's probably, like, no exaggeration, it might be the best hockey game I've seen in my life in terms of watching stellar goaltending, but both offenses moving the puck. I mean, it was an exciting game, but as it went on, dude, didn't just feel like there was no other conclusion but Canada was going to find a way to win this. I mean, we were dominating from midway through the second period on.
You know, Sheldon, I don't know if I was watching the same game as you. I woke up 5:45 just like you. I threw the Eggos in the toaster. I put the baked beans on the grill. I got the breakfast, the Johnson's maple sausage going. Like, I had everything ready for this game, man. But when the game started and that first shift where it was Connor McDavid, Celebrini, and Nathan McKinnon, as well as Cale Makar, like the top guys in the world, were trapped in their own zone for about 30 seconds. The U.S. One shift. I was like, uh-oh. And then I saw something that I didn't think I would see. I saw speed from the Americans that not just on their top line, but every line. And I was worried, Sheldon. I was super, super worried. And I even called it. I said, first goal for Canada is going to come from Cale Makar. But even though he got the first goal, he also was on the ice for the first goal. And I love that kid. I love that. To me, leaving this tournament, even though I thought he had a pretty bad game because he's on for both goals. I still think he's one of the best players in the world. But man, I was nervous early, and it just seemed like we didn't have the punch that the Americans had, and they were playing some inspired hockey in the U.S. That Trump video is very funny because, again, a lot of people want to add all the political rhetoric to it, all the turmoil that's been going on between Canada and U.S. in the last 2 years.
Which
and all
I'm
that.
sure we're going to do as well.
We're going to do it as well. But I mean, strip it away. Hockey Nation versus Hockey Nation. We knew this was going to be a slugfest. We didn't know how close it was going to be. And maybe it's our own Canadian arrogance. To think, well, I didn't expect the gold medal from the women because I knew that the American women's team had been pretty dominant.
We were at the older side of our cycle. We're just getting the next round of girls ready.
But I thought we'd be in the scrap. And we were. And I was very disappointed on Friday. I was equally disappointed, except there was no one that I hated on the U.S. women's team. But when I look at the American team, it just the Kachucks, man. If I was playing ball hockey in the summer against the Kachucks and they happen to be, I'd be punching one of them. I know I would be. I'd be, if there'd be a fight. And that's the type of guys those guys are. They twist the knobs just right to make you feel a certain way. And I thought it didn't matter because not only did we have Connor McDavid this time, we had the best players in the world supporting him, and I thought we were going to pull it off. And when we didn't, Sheldon, man, I sent the video in our chat of the Spitting Chicklets guys, and all of them are American except for the Biz Nasty, and they're all watching the game in the couch. And I don't know if Trey has it, he probably doesn't, but it was like you don't even hear the commentary of the game; you just see them getting a little excited. Canada's in the zone. It's 3-on-3. Oh, Makar. What's Hughes doing? Oh no, Makar pokes. Oh shoot, they're going up no, yes, and the U.S. is jumping out, and Biznasty is just like, you can't believe it. You just can't believe it. When my Super Bowl, when the team that I'm going for in the Super Bowl or the Grey Cup loses, I turn the TV off and I just move on to the next thing. But I knew that this meant 4 years of bragging rights for Rubio, AC, and all those guys we're going to talk about tonight. And it was killing me, Sheldon. It was look at this. This is a video of Biz Nasty on the
McDavid back out.
I mean, it was a panic 5-on-5 watching. This is new.
This is every Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. You gotta watch this.
Come on, D-Boss. Get some strides.
Oh Jesus. He's on Jack Hughes right now, guys.
No.
He's on Jack Hughes. Why was he just coming down on Jack Hughes?
Why?
What the hell was that?
You feel it?
God.
You feel it?
Jack Hughes.
No. It's traumatizing. Look at Biz Nasty in the corner.
Yeah. And you know what? I hate to say it, but the second Makar opted for the aggressive play on that puck.
Yeah.
There was 20 million Canadians watching that just covered their heads, pulling their hair, saying,
Oh, yeah.
No, this
And
can't
then-
be. You already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. And to add a little bit of salt on that wound, I love Makar, but that back check was, he plays so much of the game. He was probably dead tired. Yeah. Rubio says he's sure he won't be putting on us for the next 4 years. But yeah, so it was disappointing. It was so disappointing. And I watched the TV and gosh, it's just stunning. It's stunning because you have the best on best. We talked about this, the best on best, and you're stunning. And the only thing that can redeem this a little bit for me, and I'm glad I kept the television on for this because kudos to the Americans. I'm not gonna play the political game between Canada and US. This was a freaking tough-ass hockey team versus another tough-ass hockey team. The better team won. There's a lot of Canadians saying, they won. The better team won.
A team won. A team. Okay, I'm going to take it before. I'm not going to let you get away. You were saying the whole text line, you're panicking the whole first period. Oh, my God, the Americans are so fast. Oh my
They
God,
are.
we can't see it. They weren't. Trey and I were all like, what game were you watching?
You guys
Trey,
are
help me
watching
out
with
here.
me.
Yeah.
Listen,
They,
I'm a
they
Canadian.
were awful for the
You
outside
guys-
the first shift. They were terrible.
You guys,
But for the rest
we're
of the
watching
period,
the
I mean, it
game.
was not looking like we're getting blown out. I mean,
I didn't say we're getting
shush,
dominated. I didn't say we were getting dominated, but the Americans were playing a lot faster a game than I think we were ready for. And I think we got surprised by just how tough and how evenly matched it would be. I mean, I'm not a big Austin Matthews fan. Austin Matthews was the best two-way forward on the ice by far. He was in front of our net and he was back checking so deep. And this is one of the best players in the world playing one of the best two-way games that I've ever seen someone play. And then anytime the Hughes brothers touched the puck, it was dangerous. The Americans were dangerous every line. We had one line that was dangerous. They kept us contained. I love Tom Wilson, Sam Bennett, and Marchand on a line, but that's a plumber Stanley Cup, 7-game series line. They did not do anything that game.
It's the game 7 line for sure. But they were absolutely dominating that entire line. Every shift they were dominating. So
I'll agree with Chev on this. That back check and the responsibility in the defensive zone. I mean, it looked like the Americans weren't defending their net; they were defending their mothers. They would give you nothing, but we still kept getting shots, getting opportunities. You know why I say that? I still think we were the better team, and I know it doesn't matter who's the better in a game 7 or a final gold medal match. We had 2 empty nets.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah. I mean, when will you ever see that again from these guys?
Yeah.
McJesus, are you kidding me?
Yep.
There was opportunities to win this game.
Yeah.
But
you know what, Sheldon, you said something very, very, very important there, and I'm going to pick up on that. And I know we're going to talk about McJesus in a bit, but we got so much to unpack, and we also have an announcement to make. But you said it looked like the Americans were playing to defend their mothers, and it made me think for a second there. I really think that the Americans had a stronger why than Canada did.
Yeah.
Canada's why was we have to prove to the world that we're the dominant hockey nation. We have to prove to everyone. Maybe McDavid had to prove that he's the next Captain Canada. We had to prove we could do it without Sid. It was very global why. And the US's why was very simple. We want to do this for Johnny. And I'm glad I kept my television on at the end, because normally, like I said, I turn it off, but I was so stunned. I was like, I'm going to watch these guys get their medal. And as much as I dislike, I won't say hate because that's a strong word, but I hockey despise the Kachucks. I really do. But what they did at the end of the game to go out and grab Johnny Hockey's jersey and give him a lap around the Cortina ice as if he was there with them, with his family there. Like, I didn't know that his family was there. His dad, his mom, his wife, his daughter, and they brought the daughter on the ice for the team picture. I think there she is right there.
Yeah, well, there's 2. I think it was his brother's kid there too, right?
It was his birthday. It was his birthday.
That's a level of class that I rarely see, and their why was absolutely more powerful. Absolutely. They found a more personal reason to make that game important. And I'm not saying that the Canadians didn't have personal reasons. Their families were there and this and that. But man, I'll tell you what, that doing it for Johnny, that probably powered them through that game. And you saw it, and I thought that was a really, really classy move. And again, Rubio, you can gloat for the next 4 years until the next World Cup or whatever we do when we do best on best. But it sure was heartbreaking for the 40 million Canadians. And of the 40 million Canadians, the 8 million that got up to watch it on CBC and CTV. But guys, listen, we're going to continue on with a little bit of the discussion, but we got a big announcement here. We think it's a big announcement. Now, some of you guys that have been following us from the start, even before the Trey days and before the Daryl days and before the Bruno days, when we were just the ride with Chevy and Nasty, just figuring out in our basements, we ran into a network of guys, and Rubio's one of those guys, and AC Sports that we talk about, and a few others. The Sideline Sports crew, a good bunch of guys down in the States. They talk sports, no muss, no fuss. They've had a network. If you recall, they went down to Super Bowl a couple of years. They had invited us over, but Sheldon and I are too lame to go down, so we missed the party. But basically, guys, we just decided, and after an invite, to join the Sideline Sports Network. So for those of you joining us, all of you guys, Bruno, Trey, Rubio, Regan, Ernie, Regis, the whole taking you on this ride with us, and basically Sideline Sports and Entertainment. It's a network and a media outlet committing to giving authentic content without all the bullshit. Sheldon and I were honored to be asked to join. We have our particular style, and Rubio has his, and the Sideline Sports crew does. But if you go to Sideline Sports and Entertainment Network, I believe, if you search them on Google and you look for this logo, you'll see our bios up there. You'll even see Trey has a picture. Trey, you got to show them your bio. You look show Trey's picture. He looks,
that was a great find.
He looks like a happy kid,
I don't know where he got that photo, because I never saw that photo.
He must have scouted you out. But basically, guys, we're going to have the show. Nothing changes for us, but a lot of new people are going to be exposed to the Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Once in a while, you might see some articles from either myself, Sheldon, Trey, or even Daryl up on the network, because we want to contribute to them. And the other thing is, it also gives us a larger platform for our work in men's mental health that, we talk about it once in a while. We talk about things related to men's health, men's mental health. We'll talk a little bit about something today, and everything always builds on the community we're trying to build. So we're really excited to be with the Sideline Sports crew. And I think with that, guys, we should do our first Ride with Chevy and Nasty Sideline Sports and Entertainment Network version of 300-Pound Poetry. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
And now, 300-Pound Poetry with Chevy and Nasty.
I always have to do this first. We are the 300-Pound Poets, and this is our Tuesday night rhyme. We usually end the show late and rarely start on time.
Just like tonight. With all the promise in the world, we had the world's best in Cortina. Was it the 3-on-3 that killed us, or the size of the arena?
So we lose the gold in hockey, not once, but twice. The men's and women's team felt that shame on the ice.
And at this point, we must ask, can McJesus win the big game? After 2 Stanley Cup losses, and in the Olympics, he came up lame.
The cartels have gone crazy while Daryl's down in Mexico. We hope they don't cut off his Wi-Fi so we can still listen to the show.
It's the Ride with Chevy and Nasty, where we share our weekly rants. We may not have the best takes, but we got some damn big pants. Every once in a while, I got to pull out some weird ass rhyme.
Big pants? It works.
Yeah, it kind of works. It kind of works. So again, Sideline Sports, we're on the network. That's pretty cool. It's going to be fun to collaborate with the guys. We're going to promote some of their shows. We kind of put this together over the weekend and got it all set. They got us on the website, so that's pretty good. Check it out. Maybe Trey can put the link up if you find the right one. There you go. Yeah, there's Sideline Sports. There's me. There's Sheldon. There's Trey golfing. Look at that.
Hey, good shot,
Trey. You even got Daryl up there.
The golf shoes with no socks.
Show Daryl. You got to show Daryl, Trey. Scroll over. It's not just about you, man. Come on, Trey. No, the other way. Come on, Trey. Get Daryl. There he is. Yep. 10-gallon hat right there. Look at that.
That's it.
Yeah. So
you got bios and stuff too. This is great.
Yeah, it's like a big sausage fest up there. No, I think there's one gal. Yeah, there's one gal up there, and I'm sure we're gonna go there. There's our buddy Dave. Hey, there's our buddy Dave DeRoche, and hopefully he's doing well. Dave DeRoche, former NFLer, great guy. Like
they got everybody.
That picture of Rubio.
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
He's given the blue steel. Hey, Rubio, look at you, blue steel.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So listen, guys, it's gonna be fun. Trey, put up the link in the comments so that the folks can save it. The boys can save it. And guys, if you're here tonight, first of all, thanks for joining us on Tuesday. I got the man cold, but we're brought to you each week by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. We love having you here. We love talking whatever we feel like it. So we talked about Canada's defeat It was terrible. So Sheldon, where do you want to go? You want to talk about the low viewership with the gold medal match that, I mean, we've been waiting forever, or do you want to talk about McJesus, as we mentioned in the poem? Because I mean, this is big. This is big, right?
I was gonna take it a different place here for a second. I don't know if we have the video on this, but another moment that I actually felt really good for the American team, because it would have been an honor for most, I would think. They're there in the locker room after the game, and the director of the FBI is there, friends with the head coach. Gets invited in there. He goes, hold on, boys, 1 sec. Gets Donald J. Trump on the phone. Yeah, and has a 1 to 30 conversation on this. Let's listen to this. I want to get your thoughts on this, Chev.
Don't get me going.
Your goalie played not bad. Say hi to him. How you doing, Don? I have seen hockey goalies have slightly worse games than him. Unbelievable, and you were all unbelievable. And that team is pretty good you played. I don't know if it's going to begin anytime soon, right? And, you know, I tell you what, I just told my people 2 minutes ago, I didn't know they'd be calling. I said, we're giving the State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. I could send a military plane or something, but if you would like to, it's the coolest night. It's the biggest. We're in. Yeah. Can you pick us up in Miami on Tuesday morning? Yeah, Tuesday morning. Those are northern borders. We'll get cash and we'll get the military to get you guys over. Okay, I'm gonna let's go. Boys are going to the State of the Union. About being president is I can tell you, you don't have to worry about the weather or landing. We don't care if it's snowing, if it's the worst blizzard, you'll be sailing through that sugar just like you did at the ice cream. Thank you, Mr. President. Now we'll do it at the White House anytime. What would really be cool, and we'll do the White House the next day, we'll just have some fun. We have medals for you guys. And we have to, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay? But anyway, if you could work that out, I would be honored to have you. I'll introduce you to the whole... I got it, boss. I got it. Okay, you got it, Cash. I'm on it. Doing it. I'm happy. I'm fucking on it. Congratulations. That was an unbelievable game. I don't know if one person... That wasn't everybody that called me said I'm watching the hockey game. You know? I don't know if anybody that wasn't. And you're going to be proud of that game for 50 years as you grow older. I mean, it was amazing. So we love you guys. Congratulations. And I hope to see you, Cash, Tuesday night. And I want to shake hands. I'm going to shake hands with everybody. But I got to shake hands with that goalie. We'll see you Tuesday night, Mr. President. See you Tuesday night. I'm driving the bus, boss. We're bringing the whole.
There you go. I'm driving the bus, boss. Now,
yeah,
you could assume that in a room full of 30 players, 40 players, whatever they had in there, that it's probably a good split like the rest of the country. You're going to have your Democrats, your lifelong Republicans. But, you know, as political as everything's gotten, when I watch that, I think, dude, I'd like to get a call from the president, from the prime minister, and the energy that he brought to those boys and made it so personal. I loved it. But they've gotten a lot of criticism. He's gotten a lot of criticism for that.
Well, yeah, no, and it's been a bit weird because, again, anybody like the Americans, and Rubio's here, so he's one of our few Americans right now listening, but Americans are so proud and so patriotic. Like, the position of the president is a big deal. Like, Americans typically, and again, the last, barring the last, let's say 9 years, the respect for the president has been bar none. Like, and in the past, again, last 9 years, didn't matter if you were a Republican or Democrat, your president is your president. Canada didn't have that same sort of patriotism. And so, yeah, getting a call from the president is a big deal. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican in the US, that's a huge deal. Like, a lot of these kids grew up playing hockey. I mean, they're not all kids, but I look at those Hughes brothers. They look not much older than Trey here.
Yeah.
And big deal. And so, again, in that moment, the absolute elation, we talked about how terrible it was for us to lose that game. for the Americans winning the gold medal for 200 million people, the Johnny factor.
First time in 46 years.
First time in 46 years, beating the big bad Canadians. Like, to them, we're the big bad team, right? There was a level of excitement that I mean, you cannot fathom what that excitement was like.
And so there's a lot of division and whatnot in the U.S. right now. But it takes me also back to 2010 in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think we were as divided then as we are now. But it felt like Canada was due for a win. We just had the mortgage crisis crunch. Yeah. Oil and gas prices had fallen. I know in Alberta, that's a big thing. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Olympics, and you got Iggy onto Captain Sid's stick for the goal. I mean, something about success in international sports, how can it help do anything but spark that patriotism of getting behind that flag, getting behind the maple leaf? Like, I think that's why it hurts so bad right now, because it felt like, you know, I don't know about you, Chev, I feel like we could use a win right now.
Yeah, I feel like that video at the beginning. Like, I laughed so much at that video of Trump kicking her ass on the ice, but it literally is how I feel. You know, it's a little bit of a reflection of this pot of political division, ideological division, nationalistic division, internet, and it's all there in sport. And we got our butts whooped by Trump. But if we take it to that video, you know, there's 2 points. One, I think the video or the call should have ended when he said, "You're all invited to the White House," and they're all like, "We're in." I think it should have been like, "Hey, done." Yeah, hey, the president. No one would have said anything. I think obviously we know that, and again, I agree. The way Trump presented we got to invite the women, otherwise I'll be impeached. That's a huge disrespect for that women's team.
Do you think so?
I 100%. Sean, I'm not even going to argue on this. I think it's a huge disrespect for the women's team. And I'll say it like this. You know, and this is where things flip a little bit with Donald Trump. Yeah, he's the president, and the president is the highest office. And just as much as I was insulted when Donald Trump used to say crap about our president, even though I despised our president, you just don't diminish that position. Yeah. A lot of people feel like they could take shots at him because he is Donald Trump, but he doesn't help his case when he does things like that. Like, you got to understand, you're the president of the United States. Those girls that trained just as hard as those men, maybe harder because they don't have it given to them. Like, I mean, the guys, they have everything, right? In the NHL, they got millions of dollars. But whatever sport you're in, like, for the message that he sent there is that he doesn't value an equal gold medal in equal sport for a women's competition. And you're the president of the United States that these girls won the medal for. You're the dad of a daughter who worked her ass off her entire life to represent your country, and that's your president diminishing your accomplishments. So for me, I got a problem with what he said, because basically he put those guys in a position where, whether they were comfortable or not with what they said, there was no choice but to react. And I don't think in that heat of that moment where, presidents think something stupid like, "Oh yeah, we got to invite the women," what else are they going to do? There's such a thing as an uncomfortable laugh. I heard guys in the background saying 2 for 2. So guys were thinking about it.
Totally.
So I was just going to say, I think for me, I know a lot of women, especially women, are very offended by this whole video. I feel like the team is being a little bit unjustly chastised because they're kind of riding the momentum of something that the president of the United States, he should not have gone there. He should not have gone there.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Here's the thing. So here's how I know when somebody doesn't like Trump, and I'm fine with that. I did not like Trudeau. Trudeau couldn't have done anything to please me. But I've seen enough of Donald's interviews and personal conversations that he's making it all about the boys at the time. First off, this was an impromptu phone call that Cash set up. It wasn't planned. It wasn't staged. 2, he's making it all about them. 3, he's making it all about the goaltender, right? He goes, "I'll shake all your hands, but I really want to shake that ice hockey goaltender's hand." And then he goes, "But we got to bring the girls. Or I'm going to get impeached," right? He's making a joke about impeachment.
Yeah,
here's what I'm saying. He did the same damn thing. He did the same damn thing on the call to the girls. Every call that he makes, he brings you in It's just you and him in that room.
Did he call the women? Like, I don't know. Did he?
They were invited. They're invited, but they already had to get back. To
listen, Sheldon.
You can talk.
I know
down,
I don't like
down to me. I gave you like 3 minutes there.
I just think, I know I don't like
a phone call that wasn't meant to be on the air. He was joking around with the guys. Chev, I know we would have said the same. We could have said something very similar on a call that we didn't know.
Listen, you're the president of the United States. I remember when we got into real estate, Sheldon. You used the term with me when we got into real estate. You said when you're representing a client, a buyer, seller, you got to be beyond reproach. That you told, and I never used that. I remember to this day you were mentoring me in real estate. So you got to be beyond reproach because you're in a position where you represent trust. You represent a certain image, and if you are, if you break that, people won't believe in you. People won't trust you, and you break that trust. And for me, when I think of positions of power like the president of the United States, it doesn't matter whether you think that call is recorded or not. It's always recorded. You're the freaking president of the United States, and this is 2026. It's not 1988.
What does that mean? It's 2026, Chev?
It means that's always being recorded. And when you're the president of the United States, you should lead with a little bit more.
I'm going to go dignity. With Rubio on this one. I think it's dudes being dudes. He's having fun.
Yeah, fair enough.
And actually, it's funny. Rubio says the same thing. You know, he said the same thing to the women. And if you're really actually that hurt, then why didn't he call the other gold medalist winners as well? Right?
Yeah.
It was off color. It was a little, but I love the way he worked it. Oh, I've got to get impeached because I think he was impeached like 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just for being Donald, and he laughs about it. So,
but yeah,
I'm okay with it. Was it the classiest move ever?
No.
Honestly, to me, it was just.
But again, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not saying I expected anything different from him. I just know that's him being him. So, Cozy says I'm whining about Trump. Cozy, I don't give a shit. I'm saying I know what he is, and he isn't beyond reproach. He's
most definitely not.
He's definitely not. And again, like I said, he probably should have ended that call right after he invited them, and they would all cheer and be like, "Yeah, okay, we'll see you on Tuesday," and that would have been it. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And now I think the U.S. men's hockey team is catching strays, and I think it's sad because they're in a position where they can't even. There's no defense for them. Everyone could say that's Trump just being Trump, and we're all be like,
they don't. The people that are throwing strays at them don't love the country and don't love the offices of the presidency and can't put up with a bit of a figurehead like Donald Trump.
Well,
what I love is when people get behind the gold medal. Yeah, your president is going to say some off-color stuff more often than not. But to me, that was funny. If I was on the phone with it, I would have loved that. But I did love the Americans' reaction to the 2 for 2. I mean, that was cool. And obviously, Donald Trump was going to be inviting the ladies regardless.
See, for me, what was funny was the video he put out. I liked the video he put out. I thought that was funny. Put himself in AI, kicking Canada's ass. You know what? I was like, good for you. The other thing, I know a lot of people that are offended, and it's not just people that don't love their country. Like, I know a lot of people that are like, if that's how he feels about women's sport, it sets it back. And when you're a leader, you have a lot of power to move the needle, and I think he moved it backwards a bit. Again, I think the men's team are being unfairly judged, but that is
not by anybody that matters.
Not, I guess not. But I guess that's an opinion too, right? Oh, it's Jamin's opinion. We need to stop being so soft as a society.
Yeah, totally. Have a laugh when there's a laugh to be had. Give the benefit of the doubt that Trump has lifted up a lot of women as well. He's also been rude to a lot of people.
Did you say he lifted a lot of women's skirts? Or he lifted a lot of women?
He grabbed a lot, but yeah. Anyway, if you hate him, this is just another reason to hate him. I thought it was hilarious. I'm not a Trump apologist or a huge fan of his. I'm like, if we talk about, would I want him to be president of this country? No, God, no. I couldn't handle it. But I think I get where he's coming from, and I found it entertaining. But
yeah, kudos to that U.S. So we went there. I don't know what time it is. We might have to take a break because I want to talk about Connor.
I still want to talk ratings, but we might have to work that in later.
But I also want to talk Connor. That's a big deal. That's a big because the U.S. they're on top of the world. They're on top of the world. They're partying at the White House. Yeah. The women's team apparently is partying with Flavor Flav in Las Vegas. Apparently,
really?
Oh yeah, like he invited them to Las Vegas. So that's where they're doing their party. But we're not having a party in Canada. We're going right back to the NHL, right back to the PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League, or some girls are going to university. And we got 4 years to figure it out. 4 years to figure. And, there's not going to be a Sidney Crosby in the next Olympics. Will there be a Biddington? Will there be it's going to be a completely different team. And we don't know how it's going to turn out. So there's a lot of back to the drawing board. But we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to let you guys all calm down because you're all fired up. Cozy's all fired up. He's got his beavers in a knot. Chill out, Cozy. We're having fun here. Sheldon and me are getting after each other. Rubio's just turned into Dallas because he Team USA won. Listen, guys, we're going to take a break. You know where you can find us. We're at Chevy and Nasty on all the socials. Anywhere you find your podcast, both audio and video. And now we are also part of the Sideline Sports Network. Maybe we'll get a little graphic up there soon. So take a break, chill out, get some ice down your pants. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Connor McDavid. We might talk about the ratings. Lots to go on the show. Thanks for joining the ride. We'll see you in a minute.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
I like that. Chevy's biased and I'm not.
Yeah. Well, for me to be biased one way, you got to be biased the other. Otherwise, we wouldn't be arguing the way we do. But you know what? I got this. First of all, welcome back to the ride with Chevy and Nasty, brought to you by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. I'm Chevy. He's Nasty, and we got Trey pushing the buttons. And again, we love to get here. We love to have discussions. We're not going to solve the world's problems here, but we're sure going to air it out and see what happens and see what sticks. And great way to get onto our first night on a U.S.-based network with me bashing the president of the United States. But I did say I like their little video. I like their video. Listen, I call it like I see it, man. I've always called it like I see it. You could say I don't like Trump for his body of work. You know what I'm saying? If it was one thing he said, I'd chalk it up to a mistake. But it's his body of work. Just like I said, you know what? I don't think that the U.S. men's team should be chastised. I mean, listen, these are a bunch of guys. They were having fun, and all of a sudden they got laughing at a joke that, but like I said, yeah, maybe I'm biased, but that's okay. We're allowed our opinions. We're allowed to air them. And otherwise, if we agreed all the time, Sheldon, it would be a boring-ass show. But for me, and I know Sheldon as well, we've always stuck up for the little guy. And when you're sticking up for the little guy, you get involved in causes. And one of the causes that Sheldon and I have been passionate about over the years when we play,
you still are,
and I still am, and is bully prevention. And tomorrow in Canada is Pink Shirt Day. I recognize a couple of guys in, I believe it was Nova Scotia. I don't have my notes with me, but Nova Scotia, 10, 15 years ago now, that one kid was bullied in school because he wore a pink shirt. And then basically they came in, all the friend group with pink shirts, and it started this Pink Shirt Day movement. And for the last 7 years, I've been partnering with the Calgary Hitmen, the local junior team here in Calgary. owned also by the Calgary Flames and named after the great Bret the Hitman Hart. And I know Curtis Pagno is here today, so obviously on a day we're going to talk about the Hitmen. And they've had their annual Be Brave game, and I was lucky enough that the Calgary Fire Department that I work for support me in this venture. And basically every year for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been putting up a booth at the Pink Shirt game, the Be Brave game. And it's a pretty fantastic deal. Like 14,000 screaming students. So the game is
because it's full of just students, right? Like
just students. So they don't sell tickets to the public. It's an exclusive event for Calgary area schools. And they pack the place like the dome. When you go in, it's full, and it's probably one of the loudest sporting events I've ever been to. Because you think of loud sporting events, there's adults, and they don't know how to make that high pitched scream. But when you got 14,000 screaming kids, it's electric. And I was there today. They happened to have their game today against the Moose Jaw Warriors, and the Hitmen were lighting up the scoreboard. Like it was nuts. Like they're on a tear this year. I haven't been following that closely their record, but they are doing real well. They just locked in a playoff spot, and it was the perfect day for a game. We had a blast. You could see here all the kids cheering on the Hitmen as they took the ice. A couple of my buddies, there's our Calgary Fire Department booth, and this is me pregame. But yeah, just an electric atmosphere, and the cause is something that's near and dear is making sure that kids feel safe in the places that they enjoy, whether it's going to watch sports, going to play sports, going to school, in the playground. And, it's something that we both stand up for what's right. When someone's being bullied and there's an imbalance of power, you got to do something. You got to say something. And yeah, you know what? The last segment for me, I think Donald Trump is a bit of a bully, and I wouldn't be me if I didn't say something if I see it. And I would to my personal values. And when I see something wrong, I'll say it. But when I see something's not wrong, I'll also say that too. So in the same breath where I know everyone's calling out the men's team, I'm like, I don't see it. But Donald Trump, yeah, I see it. And I've always been that way.
If you're apologizing for getting a little emotional, Chevy, apology accepted. But I do.
I'm not apologizing.
Well, it sounded like an apology. It sounded like an apology.
No, it sounded just like an explanation.
You invited me one time to that event, and I'll tell you, that was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You go up there at the beginning of the game, you talk, like 14,000 kids there listening, and they scream at the right parts. And but as exciting as I said it would for you to be in the locker room when the president calls, I've never played a game in front of just like crazy fanatic fans. Like, can you imagine playing in Commonwealth or even McMahon or Mosaic full of kids? That would be
it would be a different animal.
Crazy energy.
Super crazy. Cozy thinks we're going at it again. No, we're not going at it. But no, it was a fantastic event, and I honestly very honored to take part. There's good people behind those events, and it's a good thing for kids to see that there's, whether it's the police, the fire department, their local hockey team, stand up for them and give them a space. And, they also provide education and tools. So it's not just a game, but they also provide a lot of educational materials to the classrooms and stuff. And it's really good. And Sheldon, you had this video that you wanted to show today, and I think it kind of leans into the bullying. And every once in a while, someone could make you feel a certain way, and all you wish you had is something that makes you feel good. And Trey, can you play the video that I think it's going viral? You explain it to me after, but here we go. I like this awkward pause.
Yeah. Anybody know any good jokes?
Maybe we should start fighting about Trump again.
Yeah. Well, Trump would have saved this little guy. Here we go.
Look at that.
And for a bit of backstory, if you guys haven't been following the most viral thing on the internet the last week or so, this poor little guy was abandoned by his mother when he was just young, pushed him away, and wasn't accepted by the rest of the herd. And I don't think they're going to tell the story. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. And so one of the caretakers saw that and realized this kid needs some companionship. And I call him a kid because he's a primate, and they have big emotions, and I think we can relate to that. So got him this little stuffed animal that he just would keep going to for comfort. And the whole world's been watching the last week how the other monkeys are treating him. Because at first it was real bad. And there's people writing in, he's a macaw monkey in a Japanese zoo. And people are writing in every day, threatening to go in there and fight the monkeys off. And it's just crazy how this little guy, and this isn't one of the faster clips, so it's not showing what I thought it might be showing, but this little guy's been hiding out, but slowly getting more strength, more resilient, playing more and more. I hate seeing this, Trey. Just abusing the guy. And that's I think there's better videos, and I hear that he's finding a surrogate mother, or he's getting along better with some of the pack. But yeah, Punch the Monkey this week is taking over the internet. Everybody's watching to see how the little dude's doing. And
so is Punchy the little monkey, or is he the one that's dragging his ass around the pen?
Punch is the little guy.
Well, I think it does lend well to kind of what we talk about. You talk about bullying. Oh, here we go. You talk about these sorts of things, and that's the thing. Like, they always say, when you want to help someone and something's going wrong, sometimes it's not. You can't intervene. Like, I ain't gonna fight a monkey, Sheldon. I know everyone says they're gonna fight a monkey. A monkey will tear your ass up. No, yeah. I ain't fighting a monkey, but you know what? Maybe I'll throw the little guy a stuffy, and hopefully it'll be a safe place for him to land. And that's kind of what it is about when you see something that's wrong. We're talking about bullying. We're talking about bullies. You're not always going to be a superhero and save the day, but sometimes just checking in on the person. Sometimes just saying, hey, man, you okay? You need something? Whatever. I'll take you for a coffee. Just let's sit and have a drink, whatever. Like anything to kind of distract from the moment of terror. I think that's a good thing. And it's funny that you brought this clip up, because I kind of think it circles everything we talk about when we talk about bullying and bully prevention, and just kind of being there for people that are being victimized, right?
It's like when you're in the school and and the teachers tell you to focus on that one kid that has been getting it rough. And when I see this monkey, I just my heart goes out to him. Just nobody in the world. So I'm glad. I hope things are shaping up. I'm hearing they are, but it's the internet. So for all I know, this is all AI, Chevy. But
it could be AI.
But pleased to believe that it's real.
It kind of illustrates the point of where we're at, and again, putting to rest that tomorrow's Pink Shirt Day. So if you can, you wear a pink shirt to support those that are being punchy to monkeyed around the schoolyard, or in the hockey team, or in the locker room, or at school, and it's just something that we do here, and I think it's a great thing. And again, all the kudos to the Calgary Hitmen. But it makes me think, because we're going to talk about a guy that he could come back from Milano Cortina, Italy, being punchy to monkey. The greatest hockey player in the world, right? We mentioned him in the poem, Connor McDavid. 2 years in a row, loses the Stanley Cup, goes to the Olympics. He's the next guy. The story is written of itself. The captain, the outgoing captain, gets injured. He is no longer the captain. He has been given the C. It's his time to shine. And he gets stuffed in the gold medal round. And now we're asking the question, as was asked of Peyton Manning when he couldn't win in Indy, and as was asked of some of the many great quarterbacks in football, is can he win the big one, Sheldon? Where are you with Connor McDavid?
Well, where I am with Connor McDavid is that he's probably the greatest hockey player of our time, and if not of all times, in terms of skill, abilities. This guy can do on the ice, with things that we've never seen done before. Absolutely love him. He's got the heart of a lion. But dude's snake bit. And by snake bit, I don't know if I'm saying that he's not getting the bounces go this way, or is there something about him and his leadership style, or the way he relates to guys on the ice? Is one thing to put on a show. It's another thing to seize the moment, to see the place for the right pass at the right time, when you got the puck on your stick, to be able to finish the play. Now he's way too young to say he's never going to have that opportunity, because here's the other thing I'll tell you. It's not one guy that wins you the Stanley Cup, right? It's not one guy that wins you the gold medal game. If Makar didn't jump that guy in the offensive zone, maybe it was McDavid coming up the other end with an assist or a goal to get it done. It's just, for me, it's too early for me to say he's not the guy, but I will say, until you do it, you're not the guy. You are the greatest player on the planet, no doubt about it.
And I know.
Unfortunately, legacy is all about championships, and until he gets one, besides the Four Nations, right?
Yeah, and I don't gloat when I say this because I know you guys think I hate the Oilers, man. I was the big, like, I'm a bandwagoner. I'm gonna admit this. Like, when, I'm a story guy, I'm a bandwagoner. In the playoffs, I could take off my Habs jersey if they lose and put on an Oilers one and be as emotionally invested in, because I'll find a reason to love that team and to not, listen, I was on the Oilers bandwagon for 2 summers in a row. 2 summers in a row, I was like, man, these guys need to win. I was all in. Just like I was all in Canada. But when I came in on the show earlier on, I believe it was, I'm going to say November, and I started questioning the Oilers' grit, and I started questioning the Oilers' abilities, and I started questioning that maybe, I remember I was talking, I said, maybe Connor McDavid is not Tom Brady. Maybe he's Jim Kelly. Maybe Cale Makar is Steve Christie wide right. Maybe,
because Joe Montana was not the most physically gifted quarterback of all times.
No.
He did what he did well, but no one will ever compare him to one of the most athletic. But he had the mind for it, and he could throw the right pass at the right time to the right guy. I'm not going to say that McDavid is not that guy yet, but this was a massive opportunity for him to. Okay, Trey, help me out, but Trey cracks me. But I'm going to say this was a massive stage for him with Sid going down. For if there was ever a time to redeem himself,
the stage was set. The stage was set for him to take center stage and take that bow, and he didn't get it. He didn't get done.
He does have like a huge moment already. He has the feather in his cap. The Four Nations goal was the biggest thing in his career he's ever done, and probably still is.
You're kind of making Chevy's point there. Like that was a big thing, right? But that was Four Nations.
Yeah, but at the time it was the biggest thing. So you kind of have to take it for what it is.
But I mean, but Trey, let's be real. It was the biggest thing because, again, not to get political about it, but it was political. Trump had just taken office. He threatened these massive tariffs against Canada. For us, it was like, no, but that was the backdrop.
From the fan standpoint,
that was the backdrop.
Absolutely.
But for them, it was a warm up for the Olympics. It was a warm up for the Olympics. It wasn't. That's what it was being billed as.
Yes,
it was like,
you're right, but it was still a big deal at the time.
It was a big deal because we hadn't seen the best on best in the NHL at that point of a year in the middle of a season. It was a big deal because it was different, but it wasn't.
Okay, I'm still trying to make the point that he's still pretty clutch.
Yeah, he's pretty clutch, but again, is he pretty clutch like Dan Marino was pretty clutch and going to the Hall of Fame, or is he going to be pretty clutch like? I can't say like Josh Allen, because Josh Allen never got his team to the Super Bowl yet. But I mean,
well, he's far superior than almost any of those names he brought up.
Yeah,
this would be like watching a guy like if Michael Jordan.
Or how about what's his name for Lamar Jackson for Baltimore Ravens? I would say very.
No, I wouldn't even say that. No. He's this like Connor McDavid to me is on a far higher scale than this.
So there's no athlete on earth that has his level of skill, but yet not.
But he's also got the complete game. And
I know.
Unlike you take a look, compare him to like an Austin Matthews, who looks disinterested half the time. You're saying he was the greatest player on the ice that night. Maybe it was. I didn't notice him as much, but I was.
So I'm asking you guys. I want to ask you this. This is not a like I'm trying to gotcha moment. I'm asking you. You make a great point. Connor McDavid is skill for skill the greatest athlete in hockey. I mean, Gretzky.
I won't say athlete. I will say hockey player.
Yeah, no, I'm saying greatest athlete in hockey. Greatest hockey player.
No, I won't say athlete. I'll say he's greatest hockey player.
Okay, greatest hockey player. Skill wise. I mean, if he was skating side by side with Gretzky right now in Lemieux, he'd probably dominate those guys, right?
100%.
Is there a guy in sport with that type of resume for his sport that has not won? And how does he compare to that guy? Because again, you said he's not Dan Marino, doesn't have his physical gifts. Michael Jordan, very similar, but Michael Jordan has a chance.
Let's look back on some of the greats in Toronto over the years. Sundin.
Sundin.
Like,
I mean,
are there any other examples? Because I would even say McDavid is probably a superior player. Sundin might have been a better captain for all I know. In fact, I think what I'm questioning right now, and it might not be fair for me to do that, but I'm wondering if there's some magic in the sauce that's missing. in terms of how guys elevate. It's almost like he's so talented and he's so good. Everybody stands around and watches.
Is he going to be Jerome McGinley? Like, is that what we're witnessing here? Just slowly, like, no, but honestly,
no, I think he'll make a move while he's still got some good years left. McGinley was like loyal to the core. He signed it 2 years.
Like Jerome McGinley had
gone. I think he's gone after the 2 years, anyways.
Yeah,
whether they win or lose, he's probably gone.
And he put out that article right before he left for the Olympics.
The guy cares. The guy cares. Yeah. He gives his heart and soul to the league, to his team, to his fans. He gets it. The only thing I'm questioning is I'm not even saying he's soft. I'm just saying, is there something missing in the sauce that's not there, or has it just been bad luck?
You know who I could compare him to? Actually, you know who I could compare him to, and it's a same sport comparison, but I guess bilateral because it's not same. Is Carey Price in Montreal? Carey Price, by far one of the greatest goaltenders of our time, by far. I mean, he did win a gold. He did win a gold.
Yeah,
in the Sochi. But if we're talking about NHL pedigree, because that's like the year after year comparison, I would say very much like Carey Price. Just never. I mean, he had the COVID year where he could have won a cup, but other than that, it's just been failure after failure.
Could he have carried the Panthers to a Stanley Cup like Bobrovsky? Or was Bobrovsky had the secret sauce that in the clutch game 7s and game 4s or whatever that he needed the win, he dug one out. Like the Carey Price, like, yeah, it's a great comparison in that he was easily the greatest goaltender playing at that time, but it didn't equate to a Stanley Cup. So yeah, that's a fair comparison. Yeah.
And it's very tough because again, I'm sure Flames fans don't want to see McDavid win the Stanley Cup. I'm indifferent to that. Even as a Canadiens fan, if the Canadiens aren't playing him, I don't care. Like, I would love him to win a Stanley Cup. I think, he the type of competitor he is, I appreciate people who have top level skill and top level commitment. I've played football and you have played football with people that had top level skill and literally zero care and zero commitment. And it's the most frustrating thing.
That's not the case here. This is top level skill.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's just not. It's Dan Marino.
Yeah, and it's tough to watch because you want to see a guy like that succeed. And do I believe he'll have his moment with the Oilers? I don't know. I don't know if it's this year. Like I said, and I wasn't trying to be cheeky. I know, like, you guys think I hate the Oilers, but what I saw mid-season was that they were missing the pieces that got them to where they were last year. I'm like, how can you get there again when you're not even performing to that level? And I don't know what happens when he gets home. Maybe he comes home and is so full of piss and vinegar from losing that gold medal that it just lights him up. And I hope so. And I hope they get on a tear and they do the right things and they meet my Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final, and then I could cheer against them and we can go from there. But it's going to be a long road.
Wouldn't that be something? That would be fun. I know it's going to kill the ratings across North America, but that would be a final that I'd be willing to see.
No, it would. They would go up. Are you kidding me? Nobody cares about hockey in the States.
Well, speaking of ratings, I mean, shoot, our ratings were down for the gold medal. Do
people care in Canada anymore?
Do people care about hockey anymore, or do we just we don't like waking up early?
No, they said it's because there was like 15 or 16 million people watching in Sochi, and it was like an hour earlier start time. So, like, I don't know what our problem is.
And I'll confess, I didn't watch that game, so you can take my number off of that. But where's the diagram? Where's the diagram? 8.7 million watched the end of the. So we don't have that one that we're sharing on that tweet where it shows year by year, series by series, and people watching live hockey, meaningful games of hockey in Canada is on the decline. The country's getting bigger, but the share of people watching it are getting smaller.
Yeah, it's very. I thought everyone would be in. I was surprised by that number because, again, this game was hyped. Not just the game, but the NHL presence at the Olympics was hyped. And love him or hate him, Connor McDavid is one of the greatest athletes in any sport. And to watch him on the world stage, I would have thought that everybody would be tuning in. I'm actually super surprised that the numbers are that low, and I couldn't explain why, because every year, whenever there's like a Super Bowl or a Grey Cup or I don't know, something on TV, it's always like, oh, it's the biggest numbers ever, and it's always like, well, of course it's the biggest number ever. Our population's growing and more people are watching TV. So I was actually quite surprised. Regan Colberg says more Canadians could afford TV in 2014.
Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. It seems like that we've, as a nation, we've become maybe a little more complacent. We're not supporting the flag and the boys and the girls as much. Maybe if you take a look at our drop in medal counts too, like if you take a look back to Vancouver and then Sochi, we were killing it. There's a lot of pride. We were investing in our young men and women. Where we'd be always first in Vancouver, second, third, fourth. Like we'd always be right up there. And now it's almost like, we spent 10 years calling Canada a post-national state and dividing us by individual groups. And I think after 10 years of that, from 2015 to 2025, maybe there's not quite as much excitement for the flag. You hear Quebec talking separation. You hear Alberta talking separation. We need something that brings us together, and that's what sport's supposed to do. You're supposed to be, I don't care if you're in Cole Harbour or Victoria, and all the way across the country up to Nunavut. Like it used to be that this is the thing that would get us excited, and it looks like people just kind of mailed it in this year.
No, I completely agree with you. And
is that where we finished 11th? I thought we ranked higher than that.
I don't know. That looks to be the final count, and it's pretty dismal. There's been a lot of talk on the news talk that these days about the lack of investment in Canadian sport, in Canadian infrastructure. I saw Helen Upperton. She had a Instagram post after the bobsled talking about how she hopes for a couple of things, that like Winsport here in Calgary decides to invest money and reopen the bobsled track, because most of the bobsled athletes live in Calgary, but they've got to fly to Whistler to train, to actually slide, because which doesn't make sense. You just don't see that, Sheldon, I was thinking this, I have one of my coworkers is a speed skater. And, if you look at the traditional sports where the Quebecers do well, it's usually the short track speed skating. That's where we got a lot of medals.
We excel at that. Yeah.
We excel at that. It's the ski jumping stuff, not the alpine stuff, but the ski jumps. And I wonder if there's something to be said for this. You look at the US, they're not necessarily a winter sport nation, but with 200 million people, wherever they have a winter sports center, which would be Lake Placid or Salt Lake City, which I think the next Olympics are going to be at, there's a huge population base. So there's a lot of people to draw from. In Calgary, even when we had the bobsled track and we had the Winter Olympics here, we only had about 1 million people to draw from. You know where I'm going with this? And Whistler's pretty far away.
But look at Norway too, though.
But what I'm saying is their population is close to all their facilities, whereas Canada's so spread out. We got 40 million, but we're across a huge. Would there be any validity or logic to? And again, I know you're not an Eastern Canada supporter. I get it, but the question is, if you put a Winter Olympics in an area where there's a higher concentration of population, like there's 20 million people in Ontario and Quebec, and you put, let's say, a Winter Olympics facility there, do you think that would draw more, just by virtue of the numbers of people and participation, to be more people drawn to winter sports?
Build it.
The only thing they can't do, they can't do the alpine sports there, because the mountains aren't high enough for the
alpine. Yeah.
But everything else,
I mean, I think you got to do something. But the fact of the matter is the same thing about when Tate McRae was criticized for going and supporting the American ski team. Well, Canada never invited her. We didn't even ask her. And it's the same thing, that the mentality in this country that until things get horrible or we got a big event coming up, we're not going to invest in our kids, our own kids. Well, even our military, we're recruiting immigrants to come serve in our armed forces, offering a fast track to citizenship, instead of going off there and recruiting off of the farms and the small towns of northern Quebec and southern Saskatchewan, and really investing in our own kids. If that means moving those venues, some of the venues to Ontario or to Quebec, I mean, you got to invest where it makes sense.
I think that's what it would take. And I know, like, again, I'm very sensitive to the Western pride because I live here too, but I'm understanding that it's a numbers game. If you put a bobsled track in front of 1 million people versus put a same bobsled track in front of 20 million people,
I would have 3 or 4 of them across the country, to be honest with you.
But I mean, we can't even keep the one that we have running. I'm just saying, if you had the, you got to put it where the people are.
That's Canada's fault, and that needs to change.
Yeah, that definitely needs to change. But hey, you mentioned something. You mentioned Tate McRae. Now, she was, I don't know the full story, but it was kind of a shock to Canadians that Canada's sweetheart, because she is like she's a mega star, right? Like there's Taylor Swift, Tate McRae right now in global music, and Bad Bunny somewhere in there. But when she represented the U.S., it really rubbed people the wrong way. And I don't know if she was. Yeah, no, I don't know if she was or wasn't invited, but you know, maybe if she got invited by the US, she might have had her people call Canada and say, "Hey, listen, I'm about to do this thing. Do you want me to do this thing for you?" Like, maybe, I don't know. But I wanted to take it to another topic we were going to talk about today. Eileen Gu, because it kind of touched on something there. Here's Eileen Gu, American-born Chinese girl. What was that? 1580 out of 1600 SAT score. She's what is it? A free skier. She's Trey's love crush, and she's American, but she decided that she's going to ski for China. Yeah. And a lot of people calling her a traitor. You know, no good for leaving her country and stuff. But I mean, you read a little bit into it, Sheldon. With the aftermath of the last Beijing Olympics and all the facilities, we talk about Canada, how you attract people to a sport. You get the greatest athlete in the world that has citizenship in your country, and you plaster her on everything. And guess what? She's making $37 million before she even hits the Olympics. I don't know if you've seen this girl's press conferences, but she's quite captivating. Like, you could tell there's a special human being here. And I just want to know, where do you fall on this? Because I want to know where Rubio falls on this as well, because he's American.
I'd like to ask Americans on this. For me, at the surface level, it doesn't sit great in the fact that she discovered skiing and was brought up and trained in the U.S. But in her case, you know what? Her mom and dad were both Chinese citizens. Her grandma's still there. Like, a lot of her family's still over there. So that she felt enough link of the culture. She grew up going back and forth, is comfortable with both languages, both cultures. At the end of the day, you know what? You can say what you want about, I want to inspire hundreds of millions of young Chinese girls to do the same thing. Dude, it's the $30 million.
Oh, for sure.
It's the money.
Oh, it absolutely was. She's a business
and if she can come here and convince me it's wrong, you know, it'd be different. But for me, my only issue with it, if this was her going back to the Ukraine or going back to some country that was on a tough run and needed some inspiration, great. But this is a Chinese Communist Party. This is a culture that, although I haven't seen it with my own eyes, what's reported to me is that they don't treat the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, the Taiwanese. They locked up the 2 Michaels. This is one of the most dystopian states, although very profitable, big business, big money in that country. But it seems like it's anti-Western values. And I don't know if she shares those, what I think are anti-Western values. I'm not going to try to guess what she feels. That's the only thing that gets me about it, is it just feels like you're going to the enemy. And I think at some point, you know, you gotta pick, am I a Westerner or am I a communist? Am I going to stand for the values that I was taught here in this new country? Or am I going to support the party that gives me $30 million? So and I'll tell you what, it's her call, right? It's
Tate McRae is what we're saying.
Yeah, it is a different situation than Tate McRae. Canada never invited her.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, no, it's interesting because we see athletes cross over all the time. Like I know.
But plus the other thing, here's the other thing too. The Junos, The Weeknd, Drake, Tate McRae. Do you see any of our big international superstars appearing at the Junos? No, it was the Tragically Hips, the Blue Rodeos, the Core Blondes. Once anybody's made it to a certain status, they're out of this place.
Yeah, and that's true. And that's true with the, you make a point. It's true with the trickle down to our sports. I mean, you had Snoop Dogg pumping up the Summer Olympics for NBC last year. You had Flavor Flav at the Olympics with these little gold Olympic things for the women's sports. I know he supports women's water polo and a couple of the other sports, and that's why I mentioned before that he's hosting the women's national team. But we don't seem to have that in Canada. Like, we have some big stars. We had, like you mentioned, Tate McRae, Drake, Weekend. Where are they? Like, where are they? And where's their Canadian pride in saying, okay, I know Canada can't afford to pay me $20 million to be the ambassador for women's freestyle skiing, but what about doing it for a couple $1 million and a good time? You know what I mean?
Again, you're talking to me about what it means to be a Canadian, and I'm over 50. You're approaching 50. We grew up patriotic boys. You were a good, Italian immigrant living in Montreal. I was a small town Saskatchewan kid. We would have bled and died for this country.
Oh yeah.
But look at the ages of these guys. We've been a post-national state for 11 years. We've been taught that we're tearing down our Sir John A. Macdonald statues. We're being told that Don Cherry was wrong. We're like, everything about what you and I grew up with has been torn down.
Yeah.
And now they're going to follow the money. Why there's nothing for them to be patriotic to.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll agree with you on that. There's definitely some defining values that are missing. And that's, take it back to sport and what really a country can rally behind. And I think, when we think about that game on Saturday, it was our chance to kind of, whoever's left celebrating, the 8 million people that were watching, it was our chance to be like, yes, wherever you're celebrating from, if you're watching from Cole Harbour to Vancouver to Nunavut, all the way down to Coutts border, we could celebrate together if Canada won, but they lost. And now it's like, well, what do we have now? We got to go back to all these crappy trade talks, the Alberta separation, the Quebec separation, Ford and Oilers, you know what I mean? Like, it would have been a real good news story for us. For us, it would have been the good news story. For the Americans, it was just another story. It was just another win. It was just another notch on the belt. And that's what makes it even harder.
Oh, I think they got that good feeling that that's why I got behind Trump a little bit on that, because he called those boys right away and they celebrated, and he flew them in on a military jet to the State of the Union address, which I'm sure was just more window dressing for Trump.
Let me ask you a question. Does Kash Patel look like that guy that shows up in the locker room after every win? And you're like, who got this guy?
Yeah,
like literally, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, we played football for a long time, and Rubio played in college, and some of you guys who played football and sports, you win a big game and you're celebrating with your boys and you're throwing the champagne, you're high fives, you're just being goofballs.
The difference is those guys that showed up to the locker rooms were hangers on. They were they knew just enough people to get there.
But he looks that way.
He looks that way, but he's worked himself up to a major position. And yes, you can say he's done some things poorly, some things well. It depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. But you know what I love about Kash Patel? He loves hockey.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You've not gotten more press across the United States about hockey than you have in the last 2 weeks. This is going to drive parents to put their kids into the sport.
And that's what I was going to say. I said, the NHL has spent millions in California, dating back to the Gretzky sale, right? How do we grow hockey in places like Arizona where it failed and Atlanta where it failed? And we want to go back. And Gary Bettman, all he's got to do is just have a moment like that in a Team USA locker room where the president of the United States calls the American team and has the head of the FBI chugging beers with the team. I mean, that gets more people interested in hockey in the States. So I think that's a win for the NHL. They said, well, what is this getting the NHLers going to cost the NHL? I don't think it cost them anything. I think it gained them. It gained them a lot of followers.
Super Bowl. It's Bad Bunny.
And you know what? The more people like you and me and everyone around the world talks about that locker room phone call, the more people will watch. That's just what it is. And I think if there's one thing that Donald Trump subscribes to, is there's no such thing as bad press. There's no such thing as bad press. So I don't think there's such thing as bad timing either.
God,
it's getting late. Yeah. So why don't we take a break, Sheldon? Again, you guys follow us, like, subscribe, share our social media. Trey puts a lot of work into that at Chevy and Nasty, and now also on the Sideline Sports Network. Please, guys, go to the website, give them a try, check them out. There's a lot of guys up there, a lot of good content, and we're going to be contributing as we go. Take a quick break, and we'll wrap this thing up when we get back.
Performance Freight Management is a global logistic freight shipping company that will handle the entire shipping process for any package to any country. Whether it be a simple truck shipment from your office to Toronto or your company importing generators from China, PFM Freight handles it all. We have the expertise and technology to handle any shipping requirements. Skip the guesswork and let us take the shipping pain off your plate.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Trey just writes into the text line, "You're bickering like mom and dad again." Trey, there's one thing, if I could tell you one truth that I want you to know right now, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
Chevy and I used to be great, right? Yeah. We'd have our conversation. We could find middle ground, but it's when the kids get involved. Bickering ridiculous, having ridiculous takes, and we love you.
Am I the reason you guys are going to get a divorce? What the hell?
No, you know what? I think it's good because we definitely have different upbringings and different value systems. But I don't know. I like that we could hash it out. Sometimes we don't, but sometimes we do. Like Sheldon thinks I was apologizing, and I wasn't. And Sheldon says I'm not an apologist for Trump, but he is. And it's like we just go back and forth.
I fight the Trump derangement and the bullying when I see it, but you know what's funny too? Like, here's the thing that's interesting about us. Like, Trey was laughing at me, like, "Dude, you and Chevy have such different takes on this stuff, right?" He goes, "How do you guys stay friends?" I'm like, "We grew up in a world
so funny
where it didn't matter what the person's take was. Your friends were your friends, your teammates were your teammates. You didn't half the time you didn't know what your teammates thought about certain issues because you didn't talk about it.
It's but you know what else? You know what else? Sheldon, you know what's funny? You bring that up. This is a great discussion. You know what else you did as a kid? And people don't do this anymore. Maybe they do it as kids, but we definitely don't do it as adults because I think it's uncomfortable. As kids, this is what you do. Sheldon, your favorite player is Mario Lemieux? Well, mine's Gretzky. And Mario Lemieux sucks because of this. And or my best friend in the world, Sheldon, I didn't even watch football when I was a kid. My best friend loved Dan Marino. Well, you're not going to pick the same guy that your best friend. You're going to find the guy that's opposite. And you're going to fight him every day. My buddy and I, we were big Formula One fans. Big Formula One fans. He loved Ayrton Senna. And Ayrton Senna was the best in the world. Like, I don't know, Trey, if this is before your time, but if you ever watched the documentary on Ayrton Senna on Netflix, you'd be impressed with this man. And I was a Michael Schumacher fan. And back in the day, I used to have the dial-up phone that I'd be on the phone, my buddy. We would be arguing on the phone every night about who was better. Oh, no, he's shitty. Like, and that's what you did. And that's what you did. You just picked the opposite of your friend because that's what made it fun. You know, if he liked Superman, well, obviously freaking Thor was the best superhero. You know what I mean? It just you never agreed with your friends.
In the country was Ford, Chev, Dodge. I mean, always, right? It's
but now it seems we live in a world where people only want to be surrounded by people that have exactly the same opinion as them. And if they don't, they're wrong, they're stupid.
Can I throw this? I'm gonna be,
that. Yeah.
I heard this very interesting podcast, and I can't remember if it was on the Ben Mulrooney, like Brian Mulrooney's son's got a radio show podcast.
I listened to him too.
And they're talking about how, years ago and nothing against our awesome, amazing females. I love my mom. I love my wife. They're all brilliant people. But when they started getting into heads of universities, heads of corporations, men, we like to fight and we'll logic out until we have a clear outcome, right? Women love consensus. And I think that led a charge. Now all of us are doing it. We're looking for consensus. And we're unfortunately getting consensus on two sides. There is no third side.
No.
Very rarely is there a third side, right?
But how many people say, man, I wish there was someone that represented sort of the middle, the side
that's Donald J. Trump.
But Donald J. Trudeau. No, the side that can see like when one side is gone a little bit too far.
I want the media to remember when the media used to be a lot more impartial and they give two sides of the story. And you just don't find that anymore. You know what would be a fun exercise is if one night we just went live and exposed our Instagram or our Twitter what's the word I'm looking for?
Algorithm.
Because I bet you what we see every day is like so different. So different. Maybe. It would be. Yeah, it'd be fun just to do it. We should do that. Do a study to show how influenced we are by our algorithms.
So what do we do? We open our Twitter and say, what's the top thing that, like, because I don't know what would you use? Like your
I would go to Twitter, just your For You, and then open it up and start reading the comments. And chances are, because we can take the same clip and I'm going to see arguments on one side and you're going to see arguments mocking my side and vice versa. Libtards, cons, it'd be an interesting study. We should. I don't think we have time to do that tonight, but let's get to the bottom of this at some point.
Yeah, let's figure it out. What are you looking at there, Trey? What are you putting on our feet? Is there anything good you got for us before we have to head out for the night, Trey? I know we didn't really have studs and duds this week. Anything good?
Sheldon, I had a couple things.
Well, let's pick one. It's getting late. Let's pick.
But I want to ask Sheldon, because I was going to say before you go, Trey. I watched a good movie last week, and Sheldon went to a good concert. So let's give a quick review. Sheldon, you want to start with your concert?
Oh, Hardy. Yeah, it was actually Jamin, who I'm not sure if he's still on here. I know he had quite an eventful day today. Was at a Flames game, and they threw up a jersey in the crowd, and inside the jersey were some tickets. So him and his buddy split them.
No way.
He asked like 17 girls. Like, he's one of those guys. He asked at least 11 girls that turned him down. 3 that said maybe. And then finally on the last day when the maybes didn't, I'm just kidding you, Jamin. Jamin just gave me a call and said, "Hey, you want to go to a concert with me?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, Hardy, yeah, let's go."
And it was good. I was going to go.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, it wasn't as fancy a set as you might see. It was real simple. The dude comes out at the start of the show. He's just sitting there in front of a fire pit wearing full camo, just look like a good old boy from Mississippi, right?
Nice.
But he brought it.
He writes a lot of music, right? Like he writes for some of the big guys out there, and I think
Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton. I think even what's her name, the blonde country singer Carrie Underwood. I think she's doing one of his songs. So very talented guy. He could easily hold the Saddle Dome.
Was it sold out?
It wasn't sold out. It was wall to wall.
That's one I missed out.
Sold out. Sorry if anybody knows that wall to wall, but I still ain't sold out. It wasn't sold out, but it was a good show. He comes out after the encore wearing a Flames jersey. And the only thing I'll say is if he showed up wearing number 13 on that jersey, he would, because he told us that Calgary was his favorite place in all of North America. And I believe him. But I think he would have gotten back a little bit more love had he worn a Johnny Gaudreau jersey.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the concert, because I know you also don't get out too much. I know you're pretty busy these days, stuff. So to get out to a concert and it's on a Thursday night, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And you went with Jamin. It's a good buddy thing to do. I went to watch a movie last week. The movie I went to watch is Crime 101 with Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor, as we know, and also starring Halle Berry, who's an amazing actress, and Mark Ruffalo, and it's about this jewel thief in California. It's a good movie, a good heist movie with a bit of a twist. And yeah, you know what? I always find since post-COVID, the movie theaters, the movies that are coming out, it's just they're not all like big screen movies. I thought this one was okay. It had a good car chase. It was a fun movie to watch. It was good on a Thursday night or a Tuesday night, whenever. I think I went with
they develop the characters, like you actually like the characters.
Yeah. It was
sometimes they bring in big names that haven't acted for a while and they don't crush that. But for me, I want to like the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me, when I go to the movie theater, I want a movie that it plays well on the big screen, because now there's so many options on streaming that you can watch on a big screen TV at home. But yeah, no, it was a good movie, good popcorn flick. It's still not the movies I'm waiting for this year, which, you know, all the Marvel, and there's a Star Wars movie coming out with the Mandalorian and Grogu coming out. So those are big ones for me. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie. If you're looking for a good movie to go watch, Crime 101 is a good one. Trey, what do you got for us?
Speaking of not a good movie, well, maybe just not a good show in general. I came across this today.
Oh,
and I just think it's really lame. These guys are old, almost as old as you guys, and they're probably out of money. So they probably just were like, "Hey, we made $500 million last time. Do you want to do it again?" And we're so stupid that we're just gonna watch it and pay these guys because it's two big names. But
well, we freaking watched Jake Paul run around the ring with Mike Tyson.
We watched Tyson turn around in his jock strap.
Yeah, we watched the guy climb the building.
We're gonna watch this too. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna watch. But you know what? This is the thing. Netflix is not stupid, right? How many millions of people in the Philippines? Manny Pacquiao is a national treasure in the Philippines. You know, as big as the gold medal matchup should have been for Team Canada with viewership, this will be for Netflix, and people will buy a Netflix subscription just to watch the fight. And half of those people will forget to cancel it for at least 3 months, and then the other half will just keep their Netflix.
No, they'll start binging. They'll start binging. Yeah,
that's how you make money. That's how you make money. So I think it's a smart play. Do I hope it's a bit of a better fight than the Jake Paul fights that we were quote unquote treated to? I hope so. They also announced last week, I believe, Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey, which is another one. So we'll see how that goes. Which one do you think will be a better fight?
I would hope this one. Ronda Rousey apparently got denied by Dana White in the UFC because they wanted to do it on UFC, and he told her to pound sand. So they kind of have to do it through Jake Paul's thing or whatever as well. So that'll go on Netflix probably. But
yeah,
they're gonna make their money.
The last time I watched her fight, she got knocked out in 30 seconds, and now she's 10 years older. Like,
is she in the WWE still? Didn't she come
out? She left. They kicked her out.
Blew that. She's a video game streamer or something, isn't she? Or
yeah, I don't know. She probably has enough money. She can do whatever she wants.
Well, her and Gina Carano.
If somebody comes up and they're going to write you a $15 million check to go get in shape for 9 months, then you're not going to say no. But Netflix
should write us a check to just fight each other, and then we just kind of go. We'll hug it out like
you know, it'd be more fun. You know, it'd be more fun. We should fight Trey.
Yeah,
everybody, like, at least then you know you're going to see a beating, right?
Oh my god, that might motivate me.
Trey, what else you got for us? Because I got something before we end this off. So
okay. Shout out to the curling team. Nasty wanted to bring this up too.
Oh yeah.
I watched a thrilling 10-end game of curling.
You know, if
I don't do it often, but when I do, I get pretty hard into it. And like,
I'm an expert every 4 years at curling.
So, and they beat. Yeah, that's Great Britain. They beat, right? Was it Great Britain?
Yeah, and it was a wild one. I mean,
it was a close game. It was a really good game actually. It was.
You go to the last end, and there was something like 11 rocks sitting like within the circles, just trying to sort through, because Great Britain, I think, needed 3 or 4 to win.
They needed 3 to tie. They had
Have any of you guys curled before?
3 to win.
Have you guys curled?
Oh yeah, I curled a little bit.
Sheldon,
growing up,
elementary school, I got to throw a rock.
How hard is
back when the brooms were like long, like whop 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 brooms? They weren't like the push brooms.
How hard is curling? Like what I'm asking is, could we put together like a curling team and have like, like how we're having the men's father-son movie night on March 30th? Maybe we do something in the fall where we do like a curling night?
I'd start a team with you guys next year.
For sure. I would. I liked curling. I like it's easy to, I guess, like play, but it's hard to master.
Yeah.
That's how I put it. Like anybody can, I mean,
like bocce, right? Like bocce on ice. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah. There's a little bit of strategy that goes into it. Once you pick,
I don't pretend to know anything about curling, and I watched a little bit of that final match, but I think Team Canada curling gave us the greatest meme in the internet of the last of the year so far, which is the little pokey finger. I don't know if you go on. There's a whole bunch of memes out there where you just see him come in and just poke the puck, poke the guy out of the way. It's pretty awesome if you find them, if it's on your algorithm, because it was on mine for a week and I loved it. Guys, just before we go, I want to kind of just put something out there. So my son Kyle, he plays Northwest Warriors hockey. I have the three boys that play, but Kyle plays in a one team, and they actually just qualified for provincials. So they found out on the weekend they're going to St. Paul, Alberta, on March 19th. And I guess, and it's great. Like one of their coaches, Mo Rademacher, he's a great coach, and Kevin Webster, who runs Kid Sport Calgary, they really want to do this experience up for the kids. So we're trying to raise money. They want to raise, like, just to get a bus to go 6.5 hours north. It's like $6,500. And they just want to give the kids the experience of a bus and a couple of extras at the hotel and stuff. They want to do it up. So we're trying to raise about 10 grand. So we have a virtual bottle drive. For any of you guys out there, it's very simple. All you got to do is call this number on the screen. It's 403-680-8776. You arrange a pickup. They come to your house. They pick up your bottles, and you just provide the code B0015 and mention Northwest Warriors U15 BC1, and all the donations will go to us. I don't know if you could put that in the thing, but in the chat there. But yeah,
post it in your socials, and people see your stuff all the time too. Let's get behind it. I've got some virtual bottles I can donate for sure.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. Like, and they pick it up at your house. Thanks, Sheldon.
Yeah.
They pick it up at your house, and like I said, we're trying to raise some money to get these kids on a bus. I'm not even going to the tournament because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if they got a bus, it's one parent and the kid, and their mom is manager of the team, so he'll go up. But I hope it's a great experience for them. They actually played a team from Croatia yesterday, guys. Croatian traveling team that came to Alberta, play 7 different teams. They played some double letter teams. They played my son's team, and I tell you what, these kids could skate. In fact, it was very funny. Kyle takes the puck up the ice right first shift of the game. He kind of goes up the right side, and then he kind of drifts to the left to find some open ice, and now he's starting to go along the boards, and I see this kid lining him up, and I'm like, what is he doing? And all this kid hip checked him into tomorrow, like blew my son up. And I was like looking at this thing like, what happened? Kyle's usually the kid that blows everyone up. Anyways, as the game goes, I was giving you guys the updates. We wind up winning the game 3-2. And Kyle crushed a couple of kids. I think I sent you a video of one of his hits, and he actually crushed another one. I'm not filming the whole game, but I caught one or two of them. But he crushed a kid. And after the game, I'm like, Kyle, great game, but what happened at the beginning? He's like, Dad, I got crushed. I'm like, yeah, I know. I gave him a pep talk before the game. I'm like, listen, Kyle. He comes to my house right before he leaves the game. I'm like, listen, Kyle, you got to play the same game you always do. You got to go hit everything that moves so that you set a standard for what the game is like here. Otherwise, you don't know what to expect. So anyways, I'm like, Kyle, what happened? He goes, well, Dad, I know I was skating on. I'm like, yeah, Kyle, I saw you skating up the ice. And next thing you know, you're going to the boards. Did you not see the guy lining you up with the hip check? He's like, yeah, Dad, I saw him. I'm like, so were you trying to jump over him? He's like, no, Dad. I'm like, well, what were you doing? He's like, Dad, I didn't think he would hit me. I'm like, did someone tell you that Europeans don't like to hit? They were freaking hitting him left, right, and center.
Yeah, this guy came, 5,300 miles from Croatia for one reason. And
he didn't come to shake your hand. But anyhow, it was a tough game. I have to say, I thought we were going to lose. The first game that Croatia scored, it was like, oh, this thing's going to be done pretty quick. But we fought back. Like, it was, I think I would say the skill, like the skating level was a little bit in their favor, but we had the grit. And I got my Canadian international win. Like, I lost Friday with the women's. I lost Sunday with the men's. But at least the Northwest Warriors BC1 team pulled it off against Team Croatia. It's not Team Canada versus US, but I'm going to take it on the international stage because
And this was Team BC or Team
No, body contact one. Sorry, body contact one. So it's a one. It's just under the double letters that Kyle plays. But again,
I was just going to say whether BC's premier or Daniel Smith missed an opportunity to get a call into that locker room and invite the boys up to Edmonton after the game. But
yeah. No, it was good. It was good. But yeah, they're going to provincials, so it's going to be good. Guys, anything else going on? Trey, anything we should be looking forward to this weekend as we approach a weekend? What's coming up? Is the NHL back? When are they back? Are they done?
Tomorrow.
The Oilers play. They have a road trip. They play the Ducks at 8:30, and then the Kings the next night at 8:30, and then Saturday in San Jose. So
you know what? Big for Daryl. What do we know about Sidney Crosby? Obviously, he missed the gold medal match. Is he back? Is he like
nothing yet? No, we haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
I assume. Yeah, I assume he's probably out for a bit.
That's going to hurt the Penguins. They were on a tear. They're going to be relying heavily upon Skinner for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I would say a couple of weeks. It was going to be touch and go if he could play, and if he didn't play, because NFL be damned or NHL be damned. If he could have played in that game, he would have played in that game.
Oh yeah,
that tells me it's at least a week and probably 2 weeks before he's even considering it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, Trey's yawning on the show. He's bored with us now.
All right.
Might as well call her before Trey falls asleep on us and then doesn't get us out of here. So, guys, for those of you that stuck around to the end and those of you listening online, we appreciate that every week you come to join us. Like we said in the poem, we don't always have the best rants, but we do wear big pants. We're Chevy and Nasty. This is the ride on Sideline Sports Network. Again, Trey's reminding us March 30th. March 30th, we got our Father Sons movie night. If you want to jump in, you got to email Daryl at pfmfreight.com, RSVP. It's a free night. It's going to be great. We'll talk more about it as the weeks come, but love to see you here tonight, and we'll love to see you next week right here on the ride.
The